So in my dream, there was this girl, and this girl was no ordinary girl. This guy, he was a very fortunate guy, and he seen this girl, and she was beautiful in his eyes. Like he seen her as someone, as the one. Eventually, the girl noticed that what he seen, and that she was beautiful in his eyes. So she did what she had to do to get close to him. And this was on a random day. They never seen each other. They were like strangers before. And he seen her at his workplace. So she dressed up in disguise as in different appearances, many different appearances, to kind of disguise herself so that he didn't know who she was. The first appearance was it seemed like a statue persona in a way, like a statue costume. I don't know what it was, but at first she tried to get his attention that way, and he disregarded her. The second time, she dressed up as an employee. So she was an employee, and he started to notice her. Mind you, this guy already had a woman. He already had a significant other. But she had caught his eye from a distance. So as he was in the office speaking with, I think, his wife, he couldn't take his eyes off this woman, and who disguised herself as an employee. And they were training for something, some sort of event. And the more, she trained, but she kept messing up because she noticed him noticing her. So eventually, after training, she wound up going to this elevator. And she got on the elevator, but the elevator wound up getting stuck. Like, it would go up and then would go down. And then he said, he pressed a button. I think the number was 9. No, it was like 59 or something. And so the elevator went up to like 100, and then she really had to use the bathroom. This is the funny part. She had to use the bathroom. So that's why she was taking the elevator to go to the bathroom, to the floor where the restrooms were. And and he wound up, he pressed the button. He was like, "You're going to come to this floor." But that floor didn't have a bathroom. So then, it wound up going to the floor, and she was like, "I really, really have to use the bathroom." And then he was like, "Oh no." And she was like, "Yeah, I really have to use the bathroom." And she wound up having a bowel movement all over him, all over the place. And he was like, "Why does this keep happening to me?" As if it happened to him before. So yeah, she had a bowel movement, and it was just, it was disgusting. Like, it was all over the place. And then, so they wound up leaving, and I think most likely he was in love with her. So he wound up taking her back to his place to get cleaned up. And then she was like, "I can use your wife's shower." And he was like, "Go ahead." And she gave him this like devious smile. So she went in there and got cleaned up, and then eventually his wife showed up, and his wife walked in. Like, before, she mentioned she was going to leave him because she noticed that he was attracted to this woman. So she showed up, And the girl came downstairs and like eventually, he was about to she noticed her appearance was changing, like she was turning back into her original self. So then, like the I guess she went from skinny to, it was a lot of excess fat. Like she became, I guess she was fat in a way or something. So it started showing, and then he walked in on her one time when he said he was about to he was like, I'm about to get in the shower with you, and she was like, no, no, no. And then he came in and he was like, oh, so this is why you said no. This is what you were hiding or something like that. He said something funny, but I forgot what it was. So then he went out of the bathroom and he got a call, and I guess this call was it was his job and he was relocating somewhere. So he got promoted, and so then he was kind of excited about that. He was like, I'm about to leave and this and that. And his wife came in, and she was like, so the girl came down as herself, her original self, and she was like really, really tall. Like she didn't look, she was like supernatural in a way. So then she came down and she disguised herself as a man, as him. And she was like, yeah, come over here with I'm over here with these other couples in this hot tub. So she went over there, and then she freaked out. She was like, she freaked out, and I guess she wound up leaving, like running out the door. And then her husband came in, walked in to where they were, and he was explaining to her that he had a promotion and that he'd be leaving. And she started to become like sad and stuff, and she was like, well, is it me? Like, are we still going to be together? And this and that. And then he was like, I have to think about it. So then his wife was really like, she really didn't, they were kind of in like an open relationship because she was, she had times where she would leave and, explore, and basically explore and embrace who she really was, and she wasn't who he wanted her to be. So she was a lesbian, and she liked girls, she liked women, and there's times where she would express this part of herself in a way where she would go out to like a gathering where she can fully embrace herself in that moment. So he allowed her to do this, but in the midst of her doing this, he was growing more and more fond and attracted to the woman in disguise, who eventually came out of her disguise, and this is the woman that he fell in love with at first sight when he first seen her on a stairwell. So yeah, so they wound up getting together, and his wife wound up accepting her into their home, but she wasn't fully comfortable with her staying there. So eventually she had to, leave. But by the end of my dream, they found that where she wasn't too far from where they were. So they found out where she lived, and the girl was waiting for her folks to come and get her so that she can return home. But as time passed, her folks didn't come get her yet. So he made these paintings for her, and he gave them to her, and it was just like he was expressing himself the way the best way that he could. And he just loved her, and he didn't want her to go. There was times where in the middle of the night he would stay with her while his wife was asleep. He would go and lay with the other girl, you know, and just talk to her and express the deepest parts of himself with her, that he really couldn't or didn't want to with his original wife. And he tried to talk his wife into letting her stay. The longer she stayed, his wife became a little bit more comfortable. But like I said, by the end of the dream, she wound up returning back to her folks. And yeah, I don't know what happened after that. I just know that they wound up figuring out where she stayed. So I don't know if she went and stayed with them or she returned home. But by the end of the dream, her folks was around. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she probably returned back home. So yeah, that was my dream. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, and share. It's your own free will to show you care. Bye.